Only on NBC4, this is the master settlement agreement between The Ohio State University and 170 of the victims of sexual abuse at the hands of former OSU Dr. Richard Strauss. It lays out the terms for distribution of $40 million. It's never before been made public. I got it through a public records request, and you can see it now at NBC4i.com. Hundreds of other claims are still pending. Tonight, you will hear from a man who just last month revealed what happened to him. We warn you, some of his story is graphic, but he wants you to hear how Richard Strauss preyed on young men under the guise of physical exams and got away with it for so long.
I was honored to be offered a scholarship to The Ohio State University, and to to come down there and put on the scarlet and the gray.
Al Nowakowski was a rock star athlete in a country that lives and breathes hockey, a member of Canada's junior national championship team, inducted into Canada's Hockey Hall of Fame. He wanted two things at Ohio State: a degree and to be developed into a hockey player worthy of the NHL. He got a solid year of sexual molestation from team doctor Richard Strauss.
When it started back in my freshman year, I was never the same. I mean, I never got to be the student or the athlete that I wanted to be.
By his sophomore year, he washed out. Under so much stress, he started having throat spasms and went to the OSU medical clinic.
I went inside the health center and was waiting in line, and there he was. Dr.
Richard Strauss, the doctor on duty.
He said, "I'll give you a shot here and I'll give you a shot when you get home." And I said, "I'm good. You can, just give me the shot here and give me a double dose." And the whole idea was to make my body loose so that this spasm I was having in my throat would go away. That was the diagnosis, and that made sense to me.
But the shot made him more than loose. He was groggy, feeling drugged. The doctor insisted he had to take him home and give him a second shot. Nowakowski had roommates at the house who realized he seemed doped up.
Everyone knew him, right? So it wasn't a big deal. Doctors, making sure that I'm okay, and which was great. And when I got into my room, I was pretty out of it. But then he gave me another injection, and I was really out of it. And I was, he gave me the injection, and I remember thanking him for it, like, "Thank you for taking care of me." And then I couldn't really move. I was laying there, and the next thing, he was cuddling next to me, which I thought was just more than odd. And then that's kind of the last thing I remember till I woke up in the morning.
You knew you had been violated.
There was blood on the sheets, Colleen. There was sperm over my...
I can't tell you how sorry I am that you went through this. Did you tell anyone? Or were you in such a state of shock?
I didn't say anything to anyone. Like, who am I going to tell?
He left Ohio State and for 32 years told no one the real reason why. After learning there were hundreds of other victims, he finally told his wife and a counselor.
I had to tell my son what happened. And he cried. And all he said to me was, "Now it makes sense." He goes, "I read all the articles about you going down to the States, and you were going down there to develop, and then you fell off the face of the earth."
3 years after leaving Ohio State, Nowakowski played for the Columbus Chill. But he never became the NHL star he believes he would have been had he spent 4 years developing on a college team.
I was taking this to my grave, Colleen. No one was supposed to know. This was never intended to be public. And now that I know that they knew, I'm not ashamed to put my name on this and say, "You know what? You knew."
He is now part of a lawsuit against the university. He wants to hold OSU accountable, but he's a successful businessman now and says this is not about money.
They took everything that I worked for my entire life, I wanted to get a degree, and I still want to finish my degree from Ohio State. Like I want that. They owe me that. I want my Letterman. I want my jacket. I want my ring. I want my watch. I want my blanket. They stole those from me.
He still wants that degree from Ohio State and says he still is a Buckeye. Be sure to also check out NBC4's Culture of Cover-Up series online. My earlier story with him at 6 o'clock is there. All the stories, including interviews with other men who survived, can be found at NBC4i.com/coverup.